Hello everyone and welcome once again to Blitz with Nyameba on the road to 2300. It's been a while since I posted something, but because I've been busy with stuff, but I'm confident that I'll keep a schedule this time around. So let's go on with today's game. The format for the game, the Blitz games, is 3 minutes with 2-second increments. Okay, so our opponent today is rated 2140. I begin with d4, follow up with c4. I think this is the Nimzo Indian where black plays bb4 check, but he doesn't play that. Alright, so knight c3 for me. Okay, so I intend to develop this bishop so it doesn't get stuck behind the pawn chain. I prefer to put it in this position at f4, attacking the pawn on c7. So there's a capture on c4, and then attempt to defend the pawn on c4. If I push a4, he'll push a5, and that weakens the b5 square. But I can't immediately attack with knight b5 because he would play knight d5. So I believe that if I push forward with e4, that'll be okay. I think I should... Oh, I hung this pawn. That puts me down 2 pawns because I already sacrificed 1 on c4. I'll assume I sacrifice this one as well. So this point I'll castle. Then I'll play knight b5. There'll be the attempt to play bishop. Okay, because my e4 pawn doesn't exist anymore, that's why this was able to be played. So I'll just retreat the bishop to g3. I can capture this pawn now, but I don't want to do that with a bishop, because I believe the bishop has an attack around the kingside area. There's no way to displace this knight, so I just think I'll retreat. With this happening here, I can start some attack on the kingside. This pawn is now under attack. Maybe that should be my third sacrifice, I guess. Not exactly though. I'm attacking this bishop, making sure that if he uses this one to attack first, I can take with a knight and this will be hanging now. Take with a knight and this will be hanging now. The bishop doesn't have anywhere else to move. So I guess I can take out the bishop. And once I'm able to capture this pawn, I can place my bishop on d3 and start some kingside attack. So it's not all grim, although I'm down 2 pawns. he uses the knight to capture first, I will use the knight to capture the bishop, and there'll be less attackers, less defenders for the knight on h4, on a4. So there's lots of thinking that has to be done here. This pawn is hanging too. Think I can play this, and then this pawn is hanging. Oh, but then the knight can defend. Okay. This looks a little scary for black. Does this work? Doesn't seem likely. The knight is too strong, but if I take it, that allows a double pawn. That allows him to connect all his pawns in the center. Now I hang this one too. I'll just play here. So many pawns down now. This is hanging now. Whoa! Lost on time. My rook was hanging here. There wasn't enough time to think of where to place it. I could have defended with the queen. That was the only choice to do, because the rook can't come on f4 and neither can it come on e4. There are no other squares for the rook. There's not enough time for the king to, and that would even be a pin. There were so many pawns that were lost in the center that made it difficult to attack. I think in this variation of the queen's gambit, I think dx c4 shouldn't be allowed, because it becomes very easy for the knights to make maneuvers to be able to defend the pawn. I'm also guessing that this pawn drop was also one of the factors that made it very difficult, because once you have the center, that's the reason why you allow the c4. allow the DX4. So once you have the center, you can make some attack with it. You can make some some progress with that. That's the reason why you sacrifice a pawn in the center. So allowing this pawn to fall was basically one of the main downfalls in the game. My effort to recapture the pawn on c4 was futile. It didn't work, and I ended up dropping more pawns. In this position, this cannot happen because I take with a rook, and then when he takes with the knight or whatever, I recapture the bishop, and that will be a rook for 2 pieces, and that is not bad. So the knights having outposts in the center because of these pawns was also a very big headache for me, and I was unable to solve that situation. I guess it all boils down to allowing DXC4 without compensation. And so many pawns were dropped, and in this position maybe I had some things more, but because of the time scramble, I didn't have enough time to think it through. Maybe I could have played bishop to g6 or retreated the bishop. It's difficult to figure out when you have little time to play. And here it looks like I dropped the bishop for free, unfortunately. I didn't even realize it while playing. So a retreat or bishop g6 would have been better. Okay, so it's been a while I played 3+2, so I guess I'm still getting used to it. And sooner than later, I'm sure I reach 2400 and stay as well. It's important to stay once you cross a rating barrier, otherwise it's just really temporary. Thank you for sticking with me, and there'll be more episodes, I promise. And thank you everyone. See you next time.